you name it. Dr. Phil, I made jewelry for, but like, they'll hit me up, these young kids, they'll get $100,000 advance. And be like, I'm about to go to Ben Ball and get a chain. And I'm like, hey, listen, I'm gonna be real with you, man. Maybe you should take care of your moms, handle a couple things here and there, and get something cool. Get like a small cool thing, right? Kill them subtly, you know what I'm saying? Be subtle. Yeah. And then come back when your paper get for real, and I'll get right with you.
That's dope,
Let me tell you some shit now. Let me tell you something. Let me school you something, all right? Listen, what are you talking about? That guy, that chain, he thought about all this for 10 years. Whenever he saw somebody had that, whoever he made a great chain for, he saw that chain and he visualized that chain. And now he has the money to do it.
Yeah.
Never stop him. That's his dream. Yeah. Once you stop him, you're gonna kill his dream.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that.
He's gonna get so much more money. That money's nothing, nigga.
But sometimes
that money's nothing. These guys gonna get this money, nigga. That little Trent Van, let them buy the dude, and that shit's gonna make them grow.
No. Listen,
believe it or not,
Mike?
They do.
Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
There's a real small percentage of these rappers that don't really blow. They may get their money stolen, but they're gonna make it.
That's true too. If
they're gonna make it,
so many hands in their pockets. But there was a kid, Uzi, who was already blown up. Lil Uzi's one of the biggest rappers there is out there. And he was blowing up.
Uzi Vert?
Yeah, Lil Uzi Vert.
Yeah,
so that's my guy. And he just started bubbling. And he's like, fuck this, I'm about to get my first chain. And I looked at him. And I checked out his whole style. We sat and talked. And usually anybody else, you go to these Russian Jewish dudes in New York City, like, they'll just take the money. It was like, listen, man, you getting a chain from Ben Baller. That term wouldn't be so famous. Ben Baller did the chain. It's a fucking #1 song. It was a
ASAP,
global song. And I said, listen, let's sit down. That chain enhanced his swagger and changed everything for him. And
Money couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Money couldn't do that.
And he hit me up. I got the text messages. He's like, yo, man, you elevated my career. Boom. And he leveled up. We got another chain. We shut down Coachella. You know, like, what jeweler goes on stage? What jeweler had a TV show? You know what I'm saying? Me. Like, what jeweler goes on stage at Coachella in front of 70,000 people? You know what I mean? Holding up a chain. Like, you know, it was a different thing. And, you know, I tried to give that experience. But sometimes as a kid who has no idea and is premature, and I kind of just give him a warning, like, listen, I just want to let you know, are you sure you want to spend this most of your, okay.
I appreciate that.
I didn't look at it like what he just said.
I hear what Mike's saying too.
But what he said is real as fuck because Uzi said, I've been looking at your jewelry since I was 12 and now I can afford it. And I'm like, okay, cool. And it just worked out that way. But now what he said kind of touched me a little bit more and like, damn, you might have, because like, fuck, when I went and first got my first Ferrari, I walked into Beverly Hills and the motherfucker's like, yo, you here to wash a car? And I was like, bro, if you don't get the fuck out my face before I sock this, what the fuck you talking about, bro? I'm here to get a 360 Challenge Stradale. Not even like no regular shit. I'm about to get some shit. And I took that car and drove it straight to my hood. And I had my boy work at Trader Joe's. I was like, yo, you got to get in this car and drive this, man. This is possible. Because I did it.
Wow.
You know, and just like.
No, there's a great point, Mike.
That's what it's about. Listen, man.
Great point.
I remember one day we came from a club. We came from a club one night with a bunch of girls. We went in the hotel. We all fucked and drank and did everything. And then we had fucking gorged all night long, right? We woke up in the morning. We all went down to the car shop. We must have bought around 15 cars.
Wow. Mike.
Yeah.
Hey, there's a rumor. If you don't mind asking.
Go ahead, brother.
When you got out of jail, what year was that?
95.
95. Did you get out the dealership and buy like 5 or 10 cars right out the dealership?
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's true, man. That's crazy. I know that sounds silly, but for someone like me who came from nothing and love cars, you know, even in 95.
All Rolls Royces.
Yeah. In 95, I had a Lexus and I thought that was doing the biggest thing in the world. And it was a big deal to me. So when I heard that rumor, I was like, this motherfucker got out of jail. Straight out of jail. Didn't go get no, motherfucker got and bought 10 cars, whatever it was. Straight out the penitentiary. And I remember like one of the big things in my life is, and I'm not saying, and my wife and me, we argue about it a lot. Like, you know, she's like, you know, apology goes a long way with me. An apology don't really go too far with me. You know, if you did what you did and I know you're sincere, you ain't even got to tell me it. Like, you know, especially I don't want no fake apology. But one thing is, people are too sensitive these days with social media and everything. And I was like, yo, Mike never apologized. And I remember I was friends with a lot of people growing up that were not tied to you directly, but like my boy Jaleel, my boy Jamal, their dad, Mr. Anderson, was ran with you for.
That's my man.
And Jaleel, to the, you know, they're still my peoples to this day. Rest in peace, Mr. Anderson. And he was like, hey man, we were at Jerry's Deli one night. He was like, yo, Mike is here. You on a 3-wheel trike motorcycle thing. And I was like, what the fuck is Mike doing on this 3-wheel? Mike, right across from a Beverly Center at Jerry's Deli, he's on this 3-wheel motorcycle. I was like, fuck it. I go out and Mr. Anderson's like, yo, you want to take? I was like, nah, man. I'm going to meet Mike one day and it's going to be at a point where he remember me. I don't want to, you know, boom. And like, go going back and thinking about it, this dude, my boy Shane Mooney, his dad's Paul Mooney, the famous.
I know Paul Mooney, yes, meeting.
So Paul was talking about you when you was in jail on his tape, side 2 of his cassette. He said, "You don't want to fuck with Mike Tyson." He's like, Mike in jail, they want to apologize. He ain't gonna fucking apologize. He was like, he beat up a CO. He's like, listen, you better put me back in my cell and put another lock on that motherfucker, an extra lock on there. And I was like, man, I love this dude, Mike Tyson, so fucking much.
I was a wild dude back then.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
I did Floyd Mayweather jewelry. I work with a bunch of boxers and stuff, but it's like, it's a different type. And I hung out with Floyd a lot. It was, and he's a cool dude. I'm just saying, like, man,
you got to do a Toad piece for Mike.
Oh yeah, Toad with the black on
bro.
the face.
It'd be my fucking honor, man.
Could you do a Toad chain for Mike?
Yeah, what are you talking about, bro? And I'm booked up 20 months right now. I'm 20 months advance. I'm already booked up, paid, and I'll push people back. I don't give a fuck. Like this is a whole different level. This is like, I'm in the presence of real great.
You messing me up when you said the Andersons, man.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, bro. Listen to this. I had an R&B group signed to Priority Records called The Truth. Okay. And you can't have listen, this Anderson family was not he had a daughter named Keisha, and his daughter was like my personal security guard she would fight dudes. I seen her fight grown ass men. The whole family was just, they're beasts, crazy. Yeah. So I called Keisha one time and Mr. Anderson goes, who is this? And I was like, it's Ben Baller. Who the fuck? What kind of fucking name is Ben Baller? You better fucking call. Listen, and he hung up on me. And I hit up my boy Tony. I was like, hey man,
fucking
yeah. And I hit up my partner. I was like, hey bro, like, can you talk to her dad? He's tripping. He goes, no, listen. And finally, Keisha comes out and she was like, hey, you can't just call. You got to knock on my door. My dad's old school, like boom. And I was like, God damn, but he like hung up on me, cussed me, called me all these kinds of bitches and this and that. And I was like, she's like, don't trip. So one of my boys, somehow I met early on in my career. He played football. He played for the Rams. His name was Todd Light. And Todd Light.
Todd's our boy too.
Yeah, Todd's an very old friend of mine, right? Todd's coaching up in Northwest now. Northwest. And Todd goes, hey man, what happened? I goes, I called Keisha, man. Her dad cussed me the fuck out. He goes, oh, he's cussed me out like 15, 20 times.
Yeah,
but you can't
trip.
Yeah, you can't call over there like, and he had Team Tyson tattoo. This dude was this dude was so fucking connected and powerful. He'd go to school and to pick up the kids, and the dude was like connected to everyone. But anyways, I had a lot of ties to you indirectly, right? Like 1-2 degree separation, and there was so much respect that was going on with what you were doing. I just didn't. I didn't want to. I felt like I was a peon. Like I just heard the Michael Rappaport podcast. I listened to it like 4 times. And some of the shit you said on there, I can't even say because, man, my agent and my wife are on some whole other shit right now. Don't talk about your whole past and your criminal past and everything.
Man.
And they hate when I do that. But you said a couple things that hit me so hard that I had to pull over in my Lamborghini SUV, pull over and be like, yo, bro, he fucked me up. Like, Mike, like first of all, I've never heard you articulate just speak so like on Alexander the Great and everything, and I was like, yo man, this is a whole different side.
Yeah, bro.
So like immediately when that happened, I reached out to everybody I knew at this point. So I'm confident in my career right now, bro. What I've done for Asians,